WMAL News at 9. Good morning, everyone. I'm John Matthews. New this hour, former Republican Maryland Governor Bob Ehrlich has a strong reaction to Democratic claims that Maryland lost its AAA bond rating with Moody's this week because of President Trump's federal job cuts. Ehrlich tells WMAL's O'Connor and Company Democrats are to blame for overspending and overtaxing residents.
This coming special session in the fall, that will have been relevant to the president and what he's done the first 2 months. But all this, the president had nothing to do with it. Nothing.
While Moody's lowered its rating on Maryland, another major credit ratings agency, Fitch, did not. It has kept Maryland at AAA with a stable outlook after lawmakers closed a multi-million-dollar budget deficit. A 2-year-old boy fell 15 stories from a high-rise apartment balcony Thursday at the Enclave complex in the White Oak section of Silver Spring. The boy fell into some bushes and came away with nothing but a broken arm, this next-door neighbor telling 7 News.
The balcony fences are not short, she says. But she says the child may have been able to climb onto something.
Residents say people are constantly looking through buses or those bushes for keys, cell phones, and other items that are routinely dropped from above by accident. This latest incident still under investigation. No charges have been filed. The case of Salvadoran illegal immigrant Kilmar Abrego Garcia returns to a federal courthouse in Maryland this afternoon.
A Maryland federal judge will hear arguments today over whether the Trump administration can invoke the state secrets privilege to withhold information on the efforts to bring him back to the U.S. Back in April, a district judge ordered Abrego Garcia's return and directed the White House to provide documents to show whether it's complying. Well, Trump lawyers claim that releasing those documents would harm national security. Abrego Garcia's lawyers say that the administration has shown no effort to retrieve him.
7 News' John Rogers. D.C. Council Chair Phil Mendelson warning city residents to brace for severe service cuts as it prepares to move forward with closing a $410 million gap created when the House made severe cuts back in March.
It means we have to go forward with these cuts or reductions, but if the House takes it up, all that changes. We can immediately reverse the cuts and reductions.
The House has been sitting on a bill to fix the spending snafu for 2 months, but has yet to act on it. Mendelson does not expect the GOP to take up that funding fix until next month. Metro Rail is getting ready to cut out the middleman and pay directly by credit card to ride.
Currently, riders just tap their Smart Trip card or tap their phone that's connected to their Smart Trip card. At 11 stations right now, Metro is testing using credit and debit cards instead. Now, if that testing goes well, all riders will soon be able to do that. They hope to have that in place by the end of the month.
7 News' Adam Longo. Metro would like to have the credit card option in time for the World Pride Parade in June. We'll bid farewell to Pimlico as we know it when the Preakness Stakes run tomorrow. A demolition and rebuild will come next month.
A lot of people love Pimlico because of what has happened here.
Frank Vespi runs the RacingBiz.com, and he's got on-track memories such as Captain Bodgett almost catching Silver Charm in the 97 Preakness, but the building itself decrepit. A $500 million investment will bring a new Pimlico and a state-of-the-art training center in Carroll County. What will Vespi miss about the old place? The view of the action.
There's probably not a better spot in America to watch a horse race than from the outside sort of catwalk of the press box.
Sadly, he adds, that may not convey to the new place. Scott Lynn on WMAL and WMAL.com.
Dow futures up 112 points. NASDAQ futures up 41. Traffic and weather next.
Hackers don't need much. Just one leaked password can potentially unlock a treasure trove of personal information, leading to stress, pain, and permanently wreck credit. Don't be an easy target. Get protection by Aura today. Aura protects your identity, finances, and family all in one powerful app. Get real-time alerts, safeguard your accounts, and block scams before they happen. If identity theft strikes, we help you recover. Stay protected at aura.com/stream. That's AURA.com/stream.
Hey, if you have ugly yellow toe fungus, you got to hear about the secret 2-minute trick that I found for my husband. It works from both the inside and the outside. Thousands of people are using it to get rid of their toe fungus. You can check it out at crystalflesh.com. Jake started off with a small spot on his big toe, and then it spread and got really bad. His toes were nasty. It was so embarrassing. He was afraid to take his socks off. He hid his yellow and crumbly toes from everyone. He tried everything to get rid of it. Nothing helped. And then we found crystalflesh.com. It was the only thing that worked. In just a few weeks, his toes looked amazing. He's now walking around barefoot again. You guys need to try this. I'm telling you, this stuff is different. It's not sold in stores, but go check it out at crystalflesh.com. They'll even let you try it risk-free so you have nothing to lose. But whatever you do, don't let it get worse. You don't have to live with this anymore. Go check it out now. Just click over to crystalflush.com.
Jamie Whitten in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
395 in great shape. The only delay that we have left is northbound approaching and crossing the inbound 14th Street Bridge. Manassas still watch for crash activity on the Prince William Parkway at Buck Hall Road. That's between Liberia Avenue and Yatesford Road. It was a left lane blocked in each direction. But you can avoid the area over near George Mason. A lot of traffic lined up heading toward Eagle Bank Arena. Not only on Braddock Road, but 123 is getting bogged down as well. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
It's going to be hot and humid to round out the week with feels like temperatures near 90 this afternoon. Now, we're also on a storm alert. Not a guarantee we'll get storms, but if any develop, they could be strong to severe. We're tracking falling humidity for the second half of your weekend. I'm 7 News meteorologist Eileen Dolan.
Right now, it is 71 in Manassas, 72 in Greenbelt, 73 at Reagan National. I'm John Matthews on News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. Chris Plant.
Vice President J.D. Vance is reportedly set to attend Pope Leo XIV's inaugural Mass on Sunday in Vatican City. Well, whatever you do, Pope Leo, don't shake his hand. J.D. Vance works faster than the girl from The Ring.
Aren't they hilarious? They're just so funny, especially when talking about killing world leaders and religious leaders. It is Friday on the Chris Plant Show. Michael Pelka in for my friend Chris Plant. And my goodness, do we have a full buffet today? This week, a historic week wrapping up as the president appears to be on his way home. I don't think he's headed to Ukraine. I know there's a lot of people going, he's going to take, not to Ukraine, to Turkey. He's going to take a side trip to Turkey, and he and Putin have been secretly communicating. No, we would know. We would know. The president's travel schedule came out today. It looks like he's heading home to see his 11th grandchild. And that's the real number.
You know, Alpesh Patel,
when you had to say,
come on up here and fucking do that, you skinny motherfucker. Look at you, are such a dumb motherfucker. You're the dumbest motherfucker. My chat's open.
Of their children and grandchildren.
The right people show up, I'll preempt the program.
Born to
I'm cleaning it up after breakfast. Look at
over the last, what is it?
DAs, that look like fucking fat to you? That look like fucking fat, you fucking faggot. Get up here, you bastard. You chicken shit motherfucking Ken.
In Abu Dhabi.
You and your fucking British boyfriend.
President Trump sounded very excited.
Fuck you. Right there. You can't do shit. I'm going to go freshen up.
As well as put together all of the list of accomplishments from this trip, which has been, I believe, both a business and political success for America, a business success for America in terms of the kinds of orders that are being placed for really high-priced aircraft. And we're probably going to see some chip sales, and we're going to see some power centers that have to be built so that the Middle East can also participate in the artificial intelligence surge that's going on. But I think the big story, the lead story today is this really offensive post that James Comey has now taken down. He's now doing a mea culpa, mea maxima culpa. Comey, disgraced former FBI director, has some explaining to do after he posted a photo on Instagram showing some shells on a beach, and they were shells in the shape of numbers saying 8647, and the numbers that make up 86 were one color shell, and the numbers that make up 47 were another color shell. So it wasn't like it was a random assemblage of shells. This was specifically set up to have 86 be a number and have 47 be a different number, different color. And why is that significant? Why is that important? In street parlance, that's a call to assassinate the president. And James Comey posted this, and you reacted, I reacted, many reacted, and I think appropriately offended. It's a threat against the president of the United States, a guy who's already faced 2 assassination attempts and God knows how many others that were prevented. And then Comey makes the statement, how dare he, that didn't know it, didn't mean, I didn't mean, that didn't mean nothing, sorry. Now his response, to quote him appropriately and correctly, was, I posted earlier a picture of some shells I saw today on a beach walk, which I assumed were a political message. I didn't realize some folks associate those numbers with violence. It never occurred to me, but I oppose violence of any kind, so I took the post down. Really? Are we actually supposed to believe you? I'm sorry, sir. 8647 is the call to assassinate the president of the United States. You know, your partners on the left, your crazed far left violent Democrats are all out there putting it on posters. You've seen it all over the place. Not buying it. And maybe I'm overreacting to this. Maybe I'm reading too much into this. Could that be? Is that possible that I'm seeing something that isn't there? You can make the case for James Comey if you'd like. At 888-630-9625, 888-630-9625. The former FBI director trying to say, no, I didn't know. You didn't put it in the Google machine? You said you assumed it to be a political statement. Why wouldn't you put it in the Google machine and say, tell me, Google, is this a political statement? I'm about to post this on the internet. He knew exactly what it meant. And it truly should warrant, I believe, a conversation. He should have all of the joy of the Secret Service interrogation conversation. I know he knows the game, but, you know, the inconvenience is what it's about. Remember what he did to General Flynn. Remember what he did. And I have friends who say, well, you're going to make Comey a martyr. No, we're not going to make him a martyr. We're going to make him a perp. That's what should happen. Tulsi Gabbard was on television last night. Perhaps you've heard of her. She is the director of national intelligence, and she was on with Jesse Waters on Fox News talking about this situation.
You know, whatever his intent, I will tell you that there's a guy in Georgia who is issuing threats on my life about a month ago, and he's in jail today. He has been indicted with a crime, as he should have been, and he is in jail as we speak. So whatever James Comey intent, he and people like him need to be held to account according to the law, which is something that he claims to have given his life for and stands by the rule of law. Fantastic. The rule of law says people like him who issue direct threats against the president of the United States, essentially issuing a call to assassinate him, must be held accountable under the law.
Do you believe Comey should be in jail?
I do. Any other person with a position of influence that he has, people who take very seriously what a guy of his stature, his experience, and what the propaganda media has built him up to be, I'm very concerned for the president's life. We've already seen assassination attempts. I'm very concerned for his life. And James Comey in
Tulsi Gabbard coming out with a very strong statement that James Comey needs to be tossed in jail, that Comey needs to be treated as any other person would. I think Comey's one of the guys who said, no one's above the law, right? Nobody among us is above the law. The president has also responded to this. The president, seen on Fox News earlier today,
He knew exactly what that meant. A child knows what that meant. If you're the FBI director, and you don't know what that meant. That meant assassination. And it says it loud and clear. Now, he wasn't very competent, but he was competent enough to know what that meant. And he did it for a reason, and he was hit so hard. Because people like me, and they like what's happening with our country. Our country has become respected again, and all this. And he's calling for the assassination of the president.
Obviously, he apologized and said he
Well, he
wasn't calling
apologized
for
because he was
violence. But
look, he's a very bad,
what do you want to see happen?
What
do you want to see happen?
I don't want to take a position on it because that's going to be up to Pam and all of the great people. But I will say this, I think it's a terrible thing. And when you add his history to that, if he had a clean history, he doesn't. He's a dirty cop. He's a dirty cop. And if he had a clean history, I could understand if there was a leniency. But I'm going to let them make that decision.
Like a true executive, President Trump saying he's going to let the Attorney General make that decision, as he should, appropriately so. But I think it's obvious here. I think it's very obvious here, and many of you are reacting as well. Well, let's go right to the far edge of things on this. Let's begin on the far side of reality on this. To Bethesda, Maryland, where someone, I believe, named Hack. Is that really your name? Hack?
Well, it's kind of my name. It's my professional name. How's that?
Okay. Is it your occupation or is it your name?
Well, if you know, you know. But, I'm a regular with Chris here.
Okay.
And I'd like to thank the Crean Scholar, your screener, for allowing me on the radio, even though I must have disparaged the whole industry by saying that the one didn't have a sense of humor. They do have a sense of humor. But I would like to defend the Mr. Comey in this situation because he's no longer with the FBI. He can't keep up on his training, computer-based training on recognizing extremism in the ranks.
Oh, I see. So you're saying that it's probably our fault for firing him because for being terminated,
he would be up on his training and he would recognize himself as an extremist. Yes,
I see this. I see this now, Hack. It's your. It's our fault that Comey isn't aware that what he said was a problem and a threat to the president.
Correct. You are correct, sir.
Very good.
Now, I will let you move to the next caller unless you got anything else for me.
I do, Hack. I want to throw this out there. And this isn't, my brain didn't go to this point, Hack, but I'd like to know what you think about this. Yesterday was 8,647 days since September 11th.
Okay.
So just let that sink in. Coincidence? Are there coincidences? 8647. And that was the number sequence that was put into the shell design on the beach. And it was also
we're through the looking glass, people.
We are. I'll be at the tea party with the Mad Hatter if you're looking for me.
Okay.
But thank you. Thank you for defending. And I am using the Chris Plant approved air quotes with my fingers for defending James Comey on this. This is unforgivable. Unforgivable. One more quick one here. Donna in Frederick, Maryland. Donna, you think this is a distraction?
Well, I think, first of all, never interfere with an enemy while they're destroying themselves. Comey did a great job of that. You know what I think? Really, they don't like our success. So they have to distract us, get us away from all Trump's success. And I think it's a shot across the bow to President Trump, which is very upsetting to me, because he hit them in a speech about their supposed nation building, which we know that how that's happened via their proxies and their wars and all their BS narrative. So that's the point I'm trying to make is, we have to have our heads on a swivel. This stunt, it shows the true ugly underbelly of the radical left.
Can't argue with you on that, although I may have used a different term than shot across the bow. I'm just saying, but thank you, Donna. I probably should take a break here. We will get back to the phones, 888-630-9625. There's so much to get to. I have news on the plane that Qatar has offered to the United States of America. Some interesting news that I think will make the story go away. But I also want to hear from you. 888-630-9625. It's Michael Pelkin for Chris Plant on The Chris Plant Show.
This is The Chris Plant Show. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
WMAL traffic from the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center. Late delays in through Silver Spring because of a crash on University Boulevard westbound before you get to Arcola Avenue. Southbound on the George Washington Parkway slows just after the CIA to get through the long-term work zone near 123. Graduation season and very slow over near George Mason, lining up getting into Eagle Bank Arena. Bunches up 123 and Braddock Road in that vicinity if you can avoid. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Partly sunny, humid today with afternoon showers and thunderstorms possible and a high near 90. Showers and storms likely tonight, low 69.
Hey, if you have ugly yellow toe fungus, you got to hear about the secret 2-minute trick that I found for my husband. It works from both the inside and the outside. Thousands of people are using it to get rid of their toe fungus. You can check it out at crystalflesh.com. Jake started off with a small spot on his big toe, and then it spread and got really bad. His toes were nasty. It was so embarrassing. He was afraid to take his socks off. He hid his yellow and crumbly toes from everyone. He tried everything to get rid of it. Nothing helped. And then we found crystalflesh.com. It was the only thing that worked.
Randy is using Lady Sky's name to come into my chat. That's Randy doing that. Trying to make me think that it's Alpesh Patel. I know you guys are stuck each other's ass, Randy, because you're a Shannon succophant. You suck JC's ass and you suck Shannon's ass. Randall, who works at Hayes Motors somewhere in California. Wouldn't be hard to find if I searched it. I'd like to talk to your mother, Randy. What a dumb bitch she is. She raised a fucking complete fool.
Why is she not seeing us?
Back to the usual, I guess.
Ma'am, can you not see us? Nope, they can't see you because you're buried deep in the list of local restaurants. You are invisible online. Introducing Cumulus Boost. Get a boost, get found, get on the map. Learn more at Cumulus Boost.
Hey, I'll give you the benefit of a doubt. My panel is open if you think you fucking dare come up here. There, Randy. Come on up, Randy. Let's see you fucking bare-chested. Let's see them fucking big old titties you got, Randy. You fucking fat slob. Come on.
My victory is overcoming my wounds. So
I banned your account again, Randy. I noticed that I go and I look and it has the name on it. So, you know, when you do that, you can't hide. Randy, why are you cloning Lady Sky and coming into my chat and the other handles? Huh? You think you're smarter than Billy? You fat fucker. JC's boy. You chicken shit motherfucker. I don't need to conduct war. I've already won the war. You guys lost long fucking time ago. Especially you, JC. I'm not strong. They don't like strong women. You're not a strong woman. You're an ignorant fucker. You're a fat, ugly fucking oaf. I made a lot of people come crying to you, JC. I don't know. They must thought I was fucking part of your crew or something. Must have thought you were going to do something about Billy Aiden. You can't do fucking jack shit.
Hey, I'm Reba McIntyre. In life, you'll hear a lot of people tell you that you can do anything you want. I'm here to tell
How about you, Queen T. Royal?
Since I was a little girl,
Yeah, you're complaining once about Mexicans coming up here. Now you're championing them. You'd say Americans won't do this work. You just follow the fucking garbage that they put out in Axios and CNN and all them other fucking libtard motherfucks. And you watch Jimmy Kimmel at night. Or what's his name there? Stephen Colbert with the fucking bent ear.
There's a lot to scroll through on X, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Truth Social. Love seeing you all in the chat before the show. I tried to jump in just a few minutes before.
Queen T, whatever happened to you over at the new crew? Weren't you part of that? You were kissing fucking Rain's ass. I know that. What a piece of work you are, Tammy Holt. Fucking scumbag. You gonna report me?
Making sense of the road.
You fucking stupid nigger. There, how you like that? You are one. There's a hair. That fucking hair. There's the link, Randy. You think you fucking want to come up and porn bomb me again? You fucker? Come on.
The weekend is going to
almost feel like fucking trimming this motherfucker.
As we have today. It was such a gift the last day. Some very interesting things happening halfway around the world. Some things happening here as well. And we'll get into the details on it. We're discussing
You're chicken shit, JC.
The disgraced former
so aren't you,
FBI
Rusty?
Director, who posted a picture on social media that I believe, many believe, could be construed as a threat against the president of the United States.
Well, you turned on Empress Chinchilla. That used to be your favorite.
The street parlance meaning take out 47, get rid of them. However, over at MSNBC with Jonathan Lemire, he seems to have a different opinion of this.
I mean, look, this is a stupid thing that he did, clearly. I think there's certainly a lot of faux outrage here. But to be fair, if it had gone the other way and if someone had posted 8646 about President Biden, there would be some on the left who would be angry as well.
Well, yeah, thank you for trying to be fair. I wonder if you're really being fair, or are you doing what Tapper's doing and trying to, make up for all the years of wrong coverage that you've given to it. You had more to say on this, didn't you, Jonathan Lemire?
It's hard to know whether or not there'll be a there. I mean, Comey took the post down immediately. He apologized. It is still surprising to me that he is so disliked on the right, considering the role he helped play in Donald Trump's original election in 2016. But this is certainly, for those, in MAGAsphere who want to talk about something else, who want to be angry about something, James Comey provided a convenient target.
Wait. First of all, MAGAsphere, really? Or he says MAGAsphere. You say MAGA, I say MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. Yes, yeah, there will be a musical. Knowing the Dems, they'll make a musical out of it. But you really think that potentially triggering, and yes, I use the word triggering intentionally, an assassin to try and take out the sitting president of the United States, that's first of all, it's a stupid thing. Yeah, it is stupid, but it's also, in the eyes of many people, criminal. And you're saying, well, hold on a second. Let's not forget what a great job he did in helping Donald Trump get elected the first time. MSNBC, really? I guess there are people that believe that. A small group, diminishing group. Let's grab a quick call before we get out of here this half hour. Mike in Middletown, New Jersey. What do you think should happen to Mr. Comey?
Very simple, Mike. I think that he should be given the Peter Navarro treatment. Put him in leg shackles in a public place, bring him in and perp walk him, and let the media see him in his true face, true garb.
I love the idea of a perp walk, especially when you think about a guy this tall, because he is a big, lanky, big bird-like creature, and maybe they should wait for him to arrive at the airport, like was done. The good reference on Peter Navarro. That's an excellent point. He should experience the same public shame, and to some extent, I'd like him to have to experience the same kind of financial pressure that General Flynn experienced. We're not done with this. There's always more to the story. It is Michael Pelka in for my friend Chris Plant on The Chris Plant Show.
You're listening to The Chris Plant Show. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
WMAL traffic from the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center. No late problems to report on 270. Outer loop still a bit slow heading into Silver Spring. And on University Boulevard, westbound crashes before Arcola Avenue, giving us some stop and go through there. Baltimore-Washington Parkway work zone being set up near NASA Goddard. Northbound jam leaving the Beltway. And the southbound George Washington Parkway bunched up near the CIA to get you past the work zone near 123 and the overlooks. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Partly sunny, humid today with afternoon showers and thunderstorms possible on a high near 90. Showers and storms likely tonight, low 69.
SweetDeals.com lets you spend less and have more. Save at least 50% on extraordinary restaurant, product, and entertainment deals. Plus, amazing vacation packages. Live large and save money while doing it. Go to SweetDeals.com today and start saving.
Clarity and context for a complex world.
I'm going to be far more thorough and specific than ever before.
News Talk 105.9. Making sense of the news.
No, you don't need to buy oversized pants if you want to earn more money. Just listen to Bigger Pockets.
Because it's really just kind of a little bit of a cheat code.
The money-making podcast that has something for everyone. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Your phone has a lot of apps, but how many of them help you make sense of your world? The new WMAL app gives you the latest headlines, perspective from the voices you trust, and weather info to keep you in the know, all without having to remember yet another password.
Yeah, I'm all right with that.
Stream your favorite shows, get the day's top headlines, and access our podcast archives, all with the new WMAL app.
Thank you.
Get the WMAL app today on Google Play or the Apple App Store, and stay connected.
How's it going? I'm having a stroke. Are you going to shake my hand? I'm having a stroke. Wow, you're not even moving your arm. I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
What would you give for a child you loved? To make their wish come true? To help them fight a critical illness? Just imagine what you'd do. You see, wishes are so powerful, and you can make them real. You can give a child back their childhood, even change the way they feel. Every single one of us can make the stars align. Because when we come together, hope and joy will shine. Wishes need stars like you. Visit Make-A-Wish at wish.org.
Hi, I'm Vince Colonnese, host of The Vince Show and Vince Podcast. It's a show with an obsessive focus on what's good for America. I'll give you the truth beneath the headlines of all of the nation's top stories. The Vince Show is redefining news talk with in-depth interviews, live caller interactions, and a front row seat to the most important conversations of the day, every day. The Vince Show and Vince Podcast.
WMAL's Vince Colonnese, weekdays at noon. News Talk 105.9. WMAL, making sense of the news. Making sense of the headlines. Making sense of your world. WMAL's Vince Colonnese.
Thank you for all you do on the radio show.
What a nice call. Thank you very much.
Weekdays noon to 3. News Talk 105.9. WMAL, making sense of the news.
This is my new best friend, Esther. She might look like any normal, playful puppy, but Esther's being raised to become a canine companions for independence assistance dog for a person with a disability. To get there, she needs lots of loving care and attention, plenty of exercise, and good eating habits so that she can live a long and healthy life for her future family. Visit cci.org or call 1-800-572-BARK. Raise a puppy, change a life. You can make a world of difference in the life of a person with a disability.
Green light. Hey, girl.
Yo, Randall, you lie. You say you don't make sock accounts or other accounts. You're full of shit, you fat fucker.
Yeah, street.
Hey, Randall, why don't you come up and show us how you can do a push-up? I bet you said you could lift the back end of a fucking pickup truck, but you can't do a push-up.
Stop the text. Stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving?
Randy, you want war with me? I'm going to bring it to you, boy.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You're a fat fucker.
WMAL,
You and Marie Lubapina would make a great couple. You guys should be holding hands. A couple of roly-polies. Fucking fat rolls everywhere. Ain't nothing fat here. I might have a little bit of fat. Come on, DA. Turn your fucking camera on, you punk motherfuck.
If you have been here when I'm here on a Friday,
Oh, he wants to see me on camera. It must be queer. Yeah, I'm queer. I want to see if I want to stick here or not.
I know a lot of people say Friday. My friend Shannon Bream is fond of saying Friday. It seems like a sorority girl thing to me, but I like Friday Luya because it seems kind of, cheerful too and chanty. As is Friday, but it's mine. Friday Luya to you. We're talking about this James Comey story, and there are myriad stories that we will get to today. More updates from the Middle East trip by the president, more updates about the faux outrage from the left, about the plane that the Qataris have tried to gift to the United States because we have a 40-year-old Air Force One, and the backup is not in good shape. Did you not know that? But this Comey thing is really growing a whole bunch of hair. And one of the more interesting things deals with coincidences, which I don't believe in. I'm sorry, I don't think there are coincidental happenings. I think a lot of this has been timed and planned, and I have to give a lot of love to our friend, our colleague, Vince Colonnese, who posted on the Twitter a link to a previous Comey post from October of 2024. And let's just think about this. How odd that this may have happened in October of 2024. James Comey, again, on the beach, because apparently that's where he spends most of his time, probably with a metal detector, looking for lost keys and or bracelets, etc. James Comey posted a photo of a shell that has been painted, because there aren't blue shells like this that are on the beaches. They just don't happen unless you're in some kind of Disney animated film. But it says, it's a little shell, and it says Vote Harris. Someone has painted it blue, and the inside of the shell, they have written Vote Harris. Huh. Isn't that funny? Comey posted that and said, saw this at the beach. Ariel understands the assignment. Oh, isn't he a clever one? Again, October 10, 2024, less than a month before the election. Thank God the beachcombers weren't voting. I get up every day and I just thank God we dodged the Kamala Harris bullet. Because can you imagine where we'd be today? What is it, 115 days into this administration? Where would we be? My God. But anyway, James Comey, October of 2024, posting a picture of a shell on the beach that says Vote Harris. Coincidence that he's once again returned to the shell photo, and this one has an implicit prompt to assassinate the president, 8647. Is he going to get away with it? I have a friend who's in the FBI who called this, or he's a former FBI, who said he talked to some friends who are still currently serving, and they called it misdemeanor stupidity. I don't know about that. I don't know if others who've been treated very seriously for making threats against people like Tulsi Gabbard said, the guy who's been threatening her, he's behind bars right now. And then there's this item that has just been noticed, that Mr. Comey, James Comey, thanks to Stephen Miller posting this online, Publishers Weekly notices or makes note that James Comey's new book, FDR Drive, I guess that's based on the often traffic-plagued and horribly paved FDR Drive in New York City. FDR Drive, a crime novel, is coming out. And it's his latest New York Times bestselling author, James Comey, and his new book.
That Patrick Rose sits there and he's hitting that microphone, talking. That fucker can't even type.
Howdy, this book comes out Tuesday, May 20th.
You talk about copy and paste.
You know, that Jake Tapper guy, he's getting all the attention.
All worked up.
For his book about Biden.
They don't dare come up here.
Of Biden's brain melting and how the left willfully participated in it. He's getting all the air. No one wants to talk to me. I better go walk on the beach. Looky here. Here's some.
So make no doubt about it. Randy and Alpesh Patel are teammates.
Yeah, no coincidence.
Yep. Those guys are teammates. Hi, Randy. You like your little buddy from over there, don't you?
FDR Drive. Don't waste your money, people. Just saying. Yeah. I wonder if there's going to be an audio book that we could cut up and make it sound like Comey was admitting he knew what he was doing. Let's grab a couple of calls here real quickly. Jim is calling from Illinois. Hello, Jim. Welcome to the program, sir.
Morning, Mike. It's always great to hear your voice on WMAL. Hey,
I appreciate it.
Comey, it's clear that Comey's trying to inspire someone to make an attempt at the president. But that's my opinion. You know, he was trying to inspire people to vote for Harris. Now he's trying to inspire people to kill the president. But the reason I called, you know, back in 2019, I called the great Rush Limbaugh and discussed the subject of if Trump didn't get his hands around the dual system of justice that existed at the time with Hillary Clinton and Comey, that situation, that he would lose in 2020. And sure enough, he didn't get his hands around it, and he lost. Okay? Now, we're going into the midterms, and Pam Bondi still hasn't made moves fast enough for the voting public to correct this dual system of justice that still exists to this day until Comey's perp walked, you know, given the Peter Navarro treatment, and people are fed up with it, and I'm worried that's threatening our chances in the midterms.
Well, it's only been, like I said, it's only been about 120 days, and it does take a while to get through all the clutter that was left behind. And I'm willing to give Pam Bondi and Kash Patel and Dan Bongino and the people at Justice, the people at the FBI, a little leeway. I think they hear the drums beating out in the streets, and I'm starting to see some movement. And yesterday, Tulsi Gabbard, I think she cleaned house with some of the people that were involved on the swampy side of things in the intelligence areas. So I suspect the first quarter is going to be slow. The second quarter might launch like a rocket ship. But you're right, Jim. Until you purge the system of the bad actors, you're not going to be able to get to progress. You know, we will always worry about a Lisa Page, Peter Strzok thing lurking in the background somewhere. So you got to go in and you got to do some serious house cleaning, but you also need to make sure you don't purge.
What a lonely boy you are, Patrick. You sit in your fucking chair and cry like a bitch. You are.
Keep our eye on it, but thank you. That's a good analysis. Let's go to Michael in Gainesville, Virginia. Hello, Michael. Welcome to the Chris Plant Show.
Happy Friday, hallelujah to you.
Thank you, Michael. I love it. You actually recognize it. We salute you for that.
Yeah, I think the Secret Service and the FBI have to talk to Mr. Comey and find out what he knew about consulting with other people before he put up this post. Did he talk to his daughter? Who did he talk to about it being the 8,647th day since 9/11? All that conversation has to happen about what he knew before he bothered to put this post up, thinking that nobody would associate it with those two things, both killing President 47 and the 9/11. It's a very strange coincidence in the first place.
Yeah, that one struck me. I do believe that there is a great likelihood he is seeking attention for his book release next week. I think that's part and parcel of this. but you raise your eyebrows when he says, "I knew it was political. I just didn't know what it meant." If you're the former FBI director, I've talked to FBI agents, former FBI agents who worked under Comey, and they said, "Look, we liked him as a guy. He walked into the room. He was this tall, gregarious guy. He used to command the presence of everyone in the room. He was great." And they didn't agree with him on things. But so you have to wonder, is he that dumb that he wouldn't have looked it up? He wouldn't have actually taken a chance to see what that numerical combination meant. And it certainly was. It was the two different colors give me pause, because you say, okay, 86, we know what that means. 47, we know who that refers to. So I think he should have his life disrupted, even if it doesn't end up in anything, which I would like it to. But he should have his life disrupted in the way that some of the people on the right had their lives disrupted and questioned and made to hire legal representation, so they experienced the financial pain that so many others did. I would like to see that happen, Michael. I want to take it seriously too, but I don't know if he actually meant that call, or if he just thought it was cool that people were doing, or did he put it out there? Are those his fingerprints on the shells? I'm not sure if that happened, but you never know. But thank you, Michael. Let us go to Oregon and talk to Bill in Redmond, Oregon. Hi, Bill.
Hi, Mike. How are you?
I'm good, sir. What's happening in Oregon today?
Well, in Central Oregon, it's a little chilly this morning, but it's nice out here. I was from the D.C. area for 35 years, and now I'm retired in Florida in the winter and here in the summer.
Well, you are lucky. It's beautiful there. I know that. But, in May, you can't really complain about the weather, because it may snow, it may rain. That's why they call it May, for God's sakes.
Yep, you got it. But I think they should pull a Martha Stewart on Mr. Comey.
Ooh.
Have some agents go out, have some agents interview him, and when he claims he doesn't know what 86 meant, go back, prove that he knew what 86 meant, and bust him for lying to a federal agent.
Well, I think that's a good plan. That would also, he could then spend, like Martha did, some time in a minimum security facility where he could teach gardening or beach combing to people, and they could prevent him from leaving by putting up a nice hedge like they had for Martha. And he could have communal living with some of the other people who may have lied to federal agents. I do think that's an interesting twist on it. That's a good suggestion. I appreciate that, Bill. Thanks for joining us today. I need to get into a break here. We have so many other topics that we have to cover. Obviously, the plane, as I mentioned, there's some new news about the plane. The president had some remarks as he was leaving the United Arab Emirates, leaving Doha. No, he's in Abu Dhabi. And our friend Dr. Gorka was invited to visit with the people from Politico. And I think they regret that invitation at this point. The people from Politico learned a very, very good lesson. Plus, did you know Springsteen was a dirtbag? You did. But now he's proving it. But he's also chicken. He's a chicken. He didn't expose his dirtbaggedness until he left the country. I'll share just around the corner. It's Opelka in for Plant on the Chris Plant Show.
This is the Chris Plant Show. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
WMAL traffic from the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center. No late problems to report on 270. Outer loop still a bit slow heading into Silver Spring. And on University Boulevard, westbound crashes before Arcola Avenue, giving us some stop and go through there. Baltimore-Washington Parkway, work zone being set up near NASA Goddard. Northbound jam leaving the Beltway. And the southbound George Washington Parkway bunched up near the CIA to get you past the work zone near 123 and the overlooks. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Partly sunny, humid today with afternoon showers and thunderstorms possible and a high near 90. Showers and storms likely tonight, low 69.
What would you give for a child you loved? To make their wish come true? To help them fight a critical illness? Just imagine what you'd do. You see, wishes are so powerful, you can make them real. You can give a child back their childhood, even change the way they feel. Every single one of us can make the stars align. Because when we come together, hope and joy will shine. Wishes need stars like you. Visit Make-A-Wish at wish.org.
SweetDeals.com lets you spend less and have more. Save at least 50% on extraordinary restaurant, product, and entertainment deals. Plus, amazing vacation packages. Live large and save money while doing it. Go to SweetDeals.com today and start saving.
Making sense of your morning.
Lots of coverage here on that developing story.
O'Connor and Company. Weekday mornings from 5 to 9.
Larry O'Connor here getting you through your morning.
Making sense of Washington.
Asking some very specific questions, some legitimate questions.
Making sense of the double standard.
Then here's the latest example.
Making sense of the headlines.
So let me break it down for you, because there's plenty to break down here.
O'Connor and Company with Larry O'Connor. Mornings from 5 to 9. News Talk 105.9. WMAL. Making sense of the news. Around-the-clock updates and uncommon understanding.
Listen to this, because this stuff is going on behind the scenes and you don't know about it.
News Talk 105.9. Making sense of the news.
Happy kids heal faster. That's why Starlight Children's Foundation delivers happiness through gaming, toy deliveries, and more to hospitals across the country. Learn more at starlight.org.
A better life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
Here's the good news. You've made it through cold and flu season. But no matter what time of year it is, we all want our immune systems functioning at peak performance. In addition to staying up to date on vaccines recommended for your age, there are 3 tried and true things you can do to boost your immune system. Okay, number 1, cut back on ultra-processed foods. Studies have linked them to impaired immune function. Number 2, get the recommended amount of physical activity every week. Not only does that reduce your chance of developing chronic disease, we now know exercise actually stimulates your immune system. Number 3, aim for better sleep. Sleep often gets the least attention, but research shows that sleep deprivation induces immune changes that can actually increase the risk of various diseases. Of course, don't forget the simple things, like washing your hands. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
Bright Focus Foundation's Alzheimer's Disease Research Program is paving the way for a cure. Learn about symptoms, diagnosis, and breakthrough research at brightfocus.org or call us at 1-855-345-6237 for free resources.
How's it going? I'm having a stroke. Are you going to shake my hand? I'm having a stroke. Wow, you're not even moving your arm. I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST, F, face drooping, A, arm weakness, S, speech difficulty, T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Searching for an inside look at the people, stories, and passion that fuel the state of soccer in America? The United States Soccer Federation will be launching the all-new U.S. Soccer Podcast. Episodes will go beyond the field with players, coaches, and legends to bring you honest conversations and untold stories. This is where soccer will come to life. The U.S. Soccer Podcast. Follow and listen on your favorite platforms.
Your phone has a lot of apps, but how many of them help you make sense of your world? The new WMAL app gives you the latest headlines, perspective from the voices you trust, and weather info to keep you in the know, all without having to remember yet another password.
Yeah, I'm all right with that.
Stream your favorite shows, get the day's top headlines, and access our podcast archives, all with the new WMAL app.
Thank you.
Get the WMAL app today on Google Play or the Apple App Store, and stay connected. WMAL, making sense of mainstream media, because the double standard is real. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
It is the Chris Plant Show.
Hey, I picked my nose.
In for my friend Chris Plant, who returns after the weekend. It is Friday, and I'm happy about that. It's been a remarkable week. Truly historic in so many ways. The president's trip out to the Middle East. And I know a lot of people are wondering if there was an intentional snub of Israel on this trip. I don't think so. I think this trip was all about squeezing all of these meetings with Saudi Arabia and Qatar, which I'm still confused. Is it Qatar? Is it Qatar? Is it Gutter? I've heard all of it. We've been arguing in our house about that. Yeah. And then yesterday, as he was in Abu Dhabi with the United Arab Emirates, I learned so much about the United Arab Emirates. I had no idea. 1 million Americans have visited the UAE just last year. And I know it's a long flight. I think technically it's listed as a long-ass flight. I think that's how the airlines describe it. And I would like to see it because it appears this tiny country that's only been around for 50 years kind of operates on some of the same principles we have here in America. The acceptance of different religious faiths. The president was showing up at the Abrahamic Family Center today, which has a mosque, it has a temple, it has a synagogue inside, it has a church, and the leaders have said, look, we allow expression of all faiths here. So it's not like the crazy, far whacked out Muslims that we have heard about in parts of the Middle East. And this was really encouraging. And the president was very welcomed by the people there. I was surprised by Abu Dhabi. And if I sound like an ignorant American, it's because I didn't know until this visit much about the country. The president, before he left, spent some time talking to the press, took some questions. He did get asked about Putin and, was there going to be a meeting with Putin and Zelensky? And it appears that has been scotched because if Trump wasn't showing, Putin wasn't showing. If Putin wasn't showing, Zelensky wasn't showing. So right now it's representatives. So Marco Rubio sitting across from the Russian and the Ukrainian representative. But President Trump was asked about the situation, was asked about Vladimir Putin.
You said that you didn't expect him to go, you didn't go. The question might be then, when are you going to do it? Why wait?
Well, I think it's time for us to just do it. I said, they all said Putin was going, Zelensky was going, and I said, if I don't go, I guarantee Putin's not going. And he didn't go, and I understand that. We're going to get it. We're going to get it done. We've got to get it done. 5,000 young people are being killed every single week on average, and we're going to get it done.
Were you surprised when Zelensky didn't show up either?
No, he didn't show up because he heard Putin was going. So
when do you think you'll meet President?
As soon as we can set it up. I would actually leave here and go. I do want to see my beautiful grandson, it's a son, and we'll be doing that. But I will tell you that the world is a much safer place right now, and I think in 2 or 3 weeks we can have it be a much, much safer place.
The world is a much safer place right now. Remember what we were told when President Trump was first elected? Remember what we were told? He's going to start World War III. He'll start a nuclear war, the whole thing. And where are we now? It looks like peace is breaking out. In fact, I checked the Polymarket betting opportunities on whether or not President Trump will get the Nobel Peace Prize. The odds have quadrupled in his favor. I know it's gone from 2% to 8%. It's still out there in the fringes. But President Trump's dream to have peace break out through prosperity, I think, is a great idea. And we're going to pursue this further because he had a lot to say. And there will be updates on the Comey story. I promised you updates on the plane that the Qataris have offered to the country. There's a really interesting twist on that one. And we'll get to it. And We got to mock Springsteen. It's just disgusting what that Bobo did overseas. It's Mike Opelka in for Chris Plant on the Chris Plant Show.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now.
WMAL News at 10. Good morning, everyone. I'm John Matthews. A federal judge in Maryland will hear arguments this afternoon to decide whether the Trump administration can invoke the state secrets privilege in the court case involving Kilmar Abrigo Garcia. The government's been under order to facilitate Abrigo Garcia's return from El Salvador for more than a month now after he was mistakenly deported, and Abrigo Garcia's attorneys claim nothing has been done to bring him back to the U.S. The government says those details are protected state secrets. We told you earlier this week that Arlington County is taking further steps to restrict its police department from having contact with ICE. Police are no longer allowed to initiate contact with the Federal Immigration Agency on any issue.
Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin is responding to this decision by saying the board is in part betraying the oath that they swore to protect their constituents. At what point did protecting violent illegal immigrants become more important than protecting your constituents?
7 News' Adriana Hopkins. Some federal immigration officials believe the new changes will make Arlington a magnet for gang members and terrorists. A 2-year-old boy fell 15 stories from a high-rise building in the White Oak section of Silver Spring Thursday afternoon. As luck would have it, he fell into some shrubbery, and his injuries limited to a broken arm.
Parents in this building are shocked after finding out what happened, but they say that they know that children often play on these balconies. In fact, they typically see people around these bushes searching for things like cell phones and keys that those kids have thrown over the edge. The balcony fences are not short, she says, but she says the child may have been able to climb onto something.
7 News' Carl Willis. The investigation continues. No charges have been filed. The D.C. area is on storm alert today with ripe conditions for severe weather. Powerful thunderstorms, hail falling, even a tornado possible. None of that is certain, but
I am confident it is going to be hot and very humid. High temperatures today, the hottest of the week in the mid to upper 80s, but dew point temperatures measuring the humidity around 70 degrees. That's really high, so really soupy humidity.
7 News meteorologist Eileen Whalen.
This, of course, all coming just a few days after historic flash flooding in Maryland and parts of Virginia. So Governor Wes Moore has declared a state of emergency after this historic flooding out of western Maryland that left dozens of homes and businesses underwater. The governor toured the devastation yesterday during a visit to Allegheny County.
7 News' Adam Longo. Tomorrow's Preakness Stakes will be the last at the current Pimlico in Baltimore, which will be demolished and rebuilt. So expect a lot of nostalgia, or not.
Pimlico has been a problem that horse racing in Maryland couldn't solve for 40 years. We are hopeful that it is now getting solved.
Frank Vespi runs the RacingBiz.com. He's seen a lot of action through the decades, and while he's very much looking forward to the $500 million investment that will lead to a rebuilt Pimlico for 2027, he's not shedding a ton of tears.
I don't think anyone's really saying, boy, I'm going to miss the grandstand with the rain coming into it, the steps that are a little dangerous, and the crumbling ceiling tiles.
The Preakness will run at Laurel Park next year. Scotland on WMAL and WMAL.com.
The Dow is up 31 points. NASDAQ's up 32. Up next, traffic and weather on WMAL.
Searching HVAC near here.
Right here, ma'am. How can we help?
Wow. Nobody local? Huh.
Wait, what? We are an HVAC company literally in your neighborhood. Why is she not seeing us?
Just all the big chains. Well, it is what it is.
What in the... Can you not see us?
Nope, they can't see you because you're buried deep in the list of local HVAC providers. You are invisible online. Introducing Cumulus Boost. Get a boost, get found, get on the map. Learn more at cumulusboost.com.
Hey, if you have ugly yellow toe fungus, you got to hear about the secret 2-minute trick that I found for my husband. It works from both the inside and the outside. Thousands of people are using it to get rid of their toe fungus. You can check it out at crystalflush.com. Jake started off with a small spot on his big toe, and then it spread and got really bad. His toes were nasty. It was so embarrassing. He was afraid to take his socks off. He hid his yellow and crumbly toes from everyone. He tried everything to get rid of it. Nothing helped. And then we found crystalflush.com. It was the only thing that worked. In just a few weeks, his toes looked amazing. He's now walking around barefoot again. You guys need to try this. I'm telling you, this stuff is different. It's not sold in stores, but go check it out at crystalflush.com. They'll even let you try it risk-free, so you have nothing to lose. But whatever you do, don't let it get worse. You don't have to live with this anymore. Go check it out now. Just click over to crystalflush.com.
Steve Hirshhorn in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
I-95 northbound in Virginia, pretty slow right now from Quantico up to a work zone north of Triangle, causing that delay. After that, though, it's just going to be slow approaching the Fairfax County Parkway. Southbound 95 is pretty heavy from Lorton down to the Occoquan, then after Dale Boulevard, most of the way down to Triangle. Around the Beltway Inner Loop, northbound 495, a little heavy still, Braddock Road up to Gallows Road. The outer loop is still under speed, New Hampshire Avenue around to Georgia Avenue in Silver Spring. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
A mix of sun and clouds, hot and humid for the remainder of the afternoon. Showers and thunderstorms are likely to dot radar. Temperatures mid-80s to around 90. Showers and storms this evening into early tomorrow. High temperatures tomorrow will be in the 80s. I'm 7 News meteorologist Steve Rubin in the First Alert Weather Center.
Right now it is 75 at Reagan National. I'm John Matthews, News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. Chris Plant.
He knew exactly what that meant. A child knows what that meant. If you're the FBI director and you don't know what that meant assassination. And it says it loud and clear. Now, he wasn't very competent, but he was competent enough to know what that meant.
President Trump responding to James Comey's 8647 post on Instagram, a picture of some shells. We all know what it means. We all understand what it means. Comey took it down and said, I knew it was political, I just didn't know what it meant. Sure, you never looked it up. Load of Bravo Sierra. Truckload of Bravo Sierra. He should have a visit. It's Michael Pelkey for Chris Plants of the Chris Plant Show. Thank you for being here. It's Friday, so we celebrate Fridays. We're going to attempt to have a big celebration. I have a friend who is a political artist of some note. His name is Sabo. If you've seen his work, you know what I'm talking about. If you go back like 10 years ago, Sabo is the artist who created the image of Ted Cruz covered in prison tattoos. That was kind of his breakthrough, but he has done great work in terms of mocking the left with his art. He created the flying monkeys that were campaigning, like from The Wizard of Oz, that were campaigning from Hillary Clinton. And about 8 to 10 years ago, Sabo, maybe even a little bit longer, Sabo created a piece of art, a little controversial. It featured a toilet seat that was Barack Obama. And the toilet seat was Barack Obama's open mouth. Let's just say it. You know, not everybody has the same taste in art, but it made waves, and it was freedom of expression, was it not? Isn't that artistic expression? Whether or not you found it to be tasteless or hilarious or maybe a little bit of both. But Sabo got a visit from the Secret Service. He wasn't saying 86 Barack Obama, but it was, in the eyes of some people, a lack of tasteful depiction of the President of the United States. I'm sure if you look it up, Obama toilet seat, you will see it. He sold a few of them, I guess. But he received a visit from the United States Secret Service. It was 11 years ago, as a matter of fact. A special agent showed up at his door and left a door tag, you know, one of those little hangers on the doorknob that said, we'd like to talk to you about possible ID theft. Really? Really, the conversation was not about ID theft, but the agent left his name and number and said, you can call 24/7. And Sabo, who's still active in the world, he's still putting out some very interesting political art these days, has said, maybe people need to report this Comey thing to the FBI. And the FBI knows about it. Pam Bondi knows about it. Kash Patel knows about it. It's just going to be interesting to see how it's handled. As we explained last hour, the non-coincidental reality that Comey has a book coming out next week on the 20th. That's a brand new novel coming out. And gee, all of a sudden, we haven't heard from James Comey in forever. And suddenly he does something that thrusts him into the public eye. How amazing is that? James Comey finds some seashells that are gathered on the seashore that say 8647. We all know what it means. Everybody, I worked as a busboy and I learned what that meant. If you've ever listened to a Tom Waits song, you've heard the reference to the term, I was 86th from your list. We know what it means. So Comey posted it, deleted it, now says, I didn't know. Honest to God, and by the way, I have a book coming out, and everyone's rushing to defend him on this. I'm not going to defend him. I hope he experiences the joy of a interrogation. Let's just see what happens. See if we get any more updates on this. And as you heard, President Trump not accepting the ignorance. Ignorance, no excuse for violating the law. Beyond despicable. That's what Senator Tommy Tuberville called it. And we'll see what happens. We'll see if there's any response. Tulsi Gabbard is, as we mentioned earlier as well, calling for the arrest because the people that have been threatening her, the director of national intelligence, with death, they are locked up, as they should be. So Comey, maybe you'll have a little visit. We'll find out. A lot of things to get to today, as well as trying to wrap up the summary of what the president has accomplished this week. Just as we were in the break before this hour kicked off, there was a notice that aboard Air Force One, President Trump was holding a call with Volodymyr Zelensky of Ukraine, also with Emmanuel Macron of France, with Keir Starmer of England, of the United Kingdom, and with Fred Merz of Germany, which I thought Fred Merz was the Ricardo's neighbor on I Love Lucy, but that's apparently the name of the new German leader is Friedrich Merz. So Fred Merz is running Germany these days. Make your own comedy, people. Life is funny. But the president, who did not get the sit down he wanted between Vladimir Putin and Volodymyr Zelensky, is still working on the plane on his way home. This trip is just work. And I wonder if we're going to get some sort of official declaration out of this meeting. But it was going on as we were getting ready to kick off this hour. President Trump holding a summit, if you will, via the phones on Air Force One. The guy never stops working. It really is remarkable. One of the things that has been a sticking point from this week, and I think it started last week, the announcement of the apparent gift of a 747 plane from Qatar. A brilliant, beautiful plane that's worth about $400 million going to be given to the United States to be used as a backup to Air Force One, which is almost 40 years old. And the left lost its mind. Yeah, Jamie Raskin, who is just saying this is wrong, this can't happen. It has to be approved by Congress. Any gifts to the country have to be approved by Congress. That may be the case, but Donald Trump isn't saying it's a gift to him. Donald Trump never said it was a gift to him. He said it was going to the Department of Defense. And the Trump administration is saying they're going to follow the law so the Democrats can calm down. But here's the truth. Here's the reality. Here's what you're not hearing. And I think this moment is going to likely scuttle any of the outrage on the story. Senator Mark Wayne Mullen from Oklahoma was on CNN yesterday with author/host Jake Tapper, who has a book coming out next week about why Democrats covered up for Joe Biden. Criminal. But Tapper interviewing Mark Wayne Mullen talking about the plane. And Senator Mullen gave us a story that I think this should absolutely pour cold water on every Democrat who's screeching about this.
The United States take a 747. But here's what's interesting to me. What the media isn't telling you, what no one's talking to you about, is this same 747 has been in negotiations for a year. The Biden administration is the one that started these conversations. It didn't start with the Trump administration. Why? Because we need a backup for Air Force One. Because right now, the president of the United States is flying around on a 40-year-old plane, and there is no backup for it. The backup we had, the airframe started having structural issues. No one's discussing that part. They're just discussing that the deal ended with President Trump. Maybe the media doesn't know. Maybe I'll give them a pass. Maybe you didn't know. I'll give you the pass. I'll give you a pass on that one. But the fact is, this conversation started with Qatar.
So the whole deal started with the Biden administration. This has been in progress since Joe Biden was in office. And why? Because the backup to Air Force One has structural problems. You have heard none of that. We've heard zero about that. And why? Because it's inconvenient, because it takes away all the other craziness the Democrats are saying. Oh, he's taking the gift. He's going to take it for himself. He's going to put it at the Trump Museum, what he's done. Stop it. I will guarantee you that this is going to put the kibosh on a lot of the outrage from the left. They'll still find time. They'll still find a way to get into this. But this is the truth about the plane. It was offered to the Biden administration. They were actually talking about it. How are we going to get this done? Because you have to figure out that you have to make sure the plane isn't coated and covered and embedded with all kinds of spyware, etc. You have to learn about all of the necessary avionics that have to be installed on a plane like Air Force One. So the Biden administration was at the root of this. That's really interesting. You only get part of the story, right? We only get part of the story from these people. And then when this comes out, it's like when Kilmore Abrego Garcia, we learned, oh, he was probably into trafficking. We got body cams from the officers in Tennessee. Oh, yeah, and his wife filed for orders of protection. He was beating the hell out of her. Oh, yeah, that's suddenly kind of gotten really quiet, that story. The rumor spreads halfway around the world before the truth puts its pants on. And we're trying to put the pants on right now. But just watch this story go away. Watch it quickly. Let's grab a couple of quick calls here before we take a break. 888-630-9625. Checking in with Bob, who claims he's calling from Moscow, Iowa. Bob, is that where you're calling from?
Moscow, Iowa. You mean Moscow, Idaho? No, Moscow, Russia. I've been here 8 years.
Are we needing to break you out? Are you in detention or something?
No. But getting to James Comey, he, because of his position as being FBI director, knew exactly what he was doing. And what they need to do is they need to put him in Rikers, in isolation, no bond, let him sit there for a few days, then search all his phone records. Who's to say he did not have information or started the process for the first assassination attempt of Donald Trump? Because obviously the Secret Service and the FBI were had their hands under their butts. So maybe he was the one that was coordinating all this.
I'm putting you down as a vote for serious investigation, lockdown, and go through everything, give him the informational proctoscope. That's what you'd like us to do, Bob, correct?
Yes, sir. If they want to show that there's truth and justice, that there's not a two-tiered criminal system for the rich and everyone else. They need to do this with they did it with all they did it all with insurrectionists, in 2000.
The January 6th people, I have to correct you, there was no insurrection. But yes, you're right. They did it to the January 6th people to the extreme. So that's a good point, Bob. Thank you. Appreciate you calling. Stay safe. Stay sane. That's a good thing. Have to take a break. My goodness, the phones are lit up here. We'll try and get to those. And I still owe you Springsteen, Dr. Gorka. There's news about the flight controllers as we have another outage at another major airport. Things went dark in Denver. Not a good thing when you got 20, 30 planes in the air. It's Mike Opelka in for Chris Plant on The Chris Plant Show.
You're listening to The Chris Plant Show. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
We are the American Cancer Society making strides against breast cancer. Are you ready to join the #1 breast cancer movement in the country? Sign up today at makingstrideswalk.org.
Nightly Scroll with Haley Carania.
It is Haley Carania. I'm excited to be here because there's a lot to scroll through on X, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Truth Social. Love seeing you all in the chat before the show. I tried to jump in just a few minutes before to say hello. I love the chat interaction. Thank you for helping. Love all my homies that I get to scroll with. If you want to listen, Nightly Scroll with Haley is where you can find me. Just search that up and I will be there. We've got to spread the word far and wide.
Nightly Scroll with Haley Carania. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
This is my new best friend, Esther. She might look like any normal, playful puppy, but Esther's being raised to become a canine companions for independence assistance dog for a person with a disability. To get there, she needs lots of loving care and attention, plenty of exercise, and good eating habits so that she can live a long and healthy life for her future family. Visit cci.org or call 1-800-572-BARK. Raise a puppy, change a life. You can make a world of difference in the life of a person with a disability.
Making sense of your money.
The state of the economy, the ability to afford your life. That's what people want.
WMAL's Vince Colonnades, weekdays at noon.
The kind of thing I pay attention to, I'm looking at.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
While serving in Iraq, our vehicle was hit. They didn't think I was going to make it. I'm Latoya Lucas, and I'm a veteran. I had to learn to live with the scars, both visible and invisible.
DAV helps veterans like Latoya get the benefits they've earned. They help more than 1 million veterans every year.
My victory is overcoming my wounds so I can help other veterans.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Making sense of the border.
Homeland security is right there at the tippy top of American concerns.
WMAL's Vince Colonnades, weekdays at noon.
You've got to be tough.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
75 years of research, 75 years of policy, 75 years of opportunity,
75 years of freedom.
This is 75 years of the Muscular Dystrophy Association. Join us at MDA75.org.
Your phone has a lot of apps, but how many of them help you make sense of your world? The new WMAL app gives you the latest headlines, perspective from the voices you trust, and weather info to keep you in the know. All
right
without
there.
having to remember yet another password.
Yeah, I'm all right with that.
Stream your favorite shows, get the day's top headlines.
There you have it. I better turn this one down. Making an awful noise. There you have it. Who the hell was it asking me about the plane being given to Trump? It was negotiated under Biden. It wasn't something that just happened. They planned this. Biden probably trying to kill Trump. So there, the news is coming out. You see, this is what you guys do. You fucking jump on shit. You don't even know what the fuck is going on yet. I had no idea they were making a plane for us. It was under Biden. You fucktards. What a bunch of fucking fucktards. Huh? Acid drip and Whippermantle and rum and beach life and Vanguard, all you fuckers. Look at you. What a bunch of chicken shits. Rusty couldn't protect you. She threw all you fuckers under the bus. You dumb fuckers. So there's your answer. Trump had nothing to do with them making us a plan. Why is my thing doing that? Well, anyway, I'm going to end this broadcast. I got things I got to go do today. I'll be back later. There you have it. They'll twist that too and deny it. Dumb fucks. So the truth is out there. The plane that they're making for our president was ordered under Biden. Negotiated under Biden. Isn't that something?